so we gain a new level of awareness and lead an awakened life. These conversations are an opportunity to bring people that I deeply respect and admire, people who are making a tangible difference in the world, people who have opened up their hearts to greater dimension of reality and who are willing to stand on the platform of truth, of love, of compassion and oneness. People who are open to share their wisdom with all who are seeking higher ground in life. Today, my guest is Nomsa. Welcome, Nomsa, to our show.
Hi, Helen. How are you? Sorry.
I am blessed. Thank you for coming on. We are really looking forward to hearing the wisdom and the knowledge concerning relationships. So, would you kindly introduce yourself to our audience?
So my name is Nomsa Clara. I'm the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ngosi Talk Show. So I'm a love harmonist. I'm a matchmaker, but I chose to call myself a love harmonist because I help my clients harmonize the struggles that they are struggling to connect with love. So when they learn to write their song, what they are looking for, and to face the struggles that the excuses that they've been making for all those times, and bring it to positivity to meet that special person. So we harmonize love. That's why I call myself a love harmonist.
Beautiful, beautiful. What a beautiful profession. And the fact that you are in tune with trying to help people navigate through relationships, find harmony, find the right people to go through life with. It is a very powerful intention and powerful role that you are playing in our society. So, in terms of relationships, it seems like a lot of people, a lot of us, we all experience some kind of disharmony, some kind of challenges, some kind of struggles in our interactions as humans, and our relationships are not always smooth. So I don't know if maybe you can clarify to us the challenges that people mainly face in relationships, or the challenges that usually affect people in relationships that usually we walk into blindly.
Okay, so the challenges that people face in a relationship is infidelity. As with so many people, they go through infidelity, and intimacy relationship can be a problem. If people are not a match, because, or even if they are a match, if you don't know how to connect with that person, because some people start they do the hard work when they're searching for that special person, but once they have that person, they believe that they don't have to try hard anymore. And the other thing is conflict. It starts when you're dating somebody. You start organizing the dates, disagreement with what kind of a restaurant you're gonna go, what kind of the things, that everyday things that causing conflict. And communications, if you don't communicate properly in relationships, that is going to cause problems in relationships. And substance of abuse, some people, they lean on drugs, they lean on alcohol. And some people and the other big problem that is a challenge is not knowing who you are, the not facing the ugly within you. When I'm saying not being able to face the ugly within you, when I was going through marriage breakup, I realized that there was ugliness inside of me. There was pain inside of me, which is I needed to work on myself. There were lies inside of me that I was telling myself. So when I'm saying lies, it means you are blaming somebody else, that the relationship is not going well because of this person. You want to go to a restaurant, you book a restaurant, you argue with your spouse, and for no reason, because you are lying to yourself, thinking that, okay, I know what I'm doing in that relationship, but you're telling yourself lies. If you believe in yourself and you believe in that relationship, you have the knowledge. So these were the lies that I was telling myself, that I had the knowledge about relationship, but I didn't. So those were the lies that I'm talking about. And those were the lies that I kept telling myself. Those were the lies when people come to me. I was great for giving them advice. I would just give them advice. They go on with life. They go and sort their own problems. But I didn't know how to deal with my own situation because I hadn't worked on myself. So those are the lies. When you haven't worked on yourself, when you don't look at the ugliness within you, I'm not saying, when I'm saying the ugly, I'm not saying what I'm describing is, if you are not, no one is perfect. So you have to search within you and work on yourself. So that is the ugly. So I had to work on my ugliness and rip away and undo everything. You know, when you undo everything in life, all the layers, negative layers, they undo them. I had to undo them. I had to undo everything. I had to undo being a pleaser. I was the people's pleaser. I had to undo that. That affected relationship. I had to undo the things that the blame. My parents divorced. So I was blaming, I was the daddy's girl, princess. My mom treated me, loved me, and my dad loved me. I've never witnessed my parents fighting. So I'm in a relationship. Why somebody wants to fight me? I want to be a princess. So I had to take those layers that I was lying to myself, thinking I was a princess in a relationship. Yes, I'm a queen in that relationship. My king is a king. I have to treat him like a king. He has to treat me like a queen. So it's 100%, 100%, not 50-50. It's 100% he treats me well, 100% I treat him well. It's knowing to serve. That's where the problem is. If you don't know how to save in that relationship, you are somebody that is all about me, me, me.
Hello. Yeah, that's really profound, Nomsa, especially where you are talking about knowing who you are. And for me, it's like that's the area that I'm so passionate about, the area of introspecting yourself, the area of where you get to question yourself. What is my contribution in all this mess? Because we can't go through life feeling like we are victims, like things are happening to us. We need to take responsibility for our journey. We need to take responsibility for our toxicity that we are contributing in our relationship. So I think that's a very, very important point that you have raised, because I think many people, most of us, we are running away from ourselves. We do not want to acknowledge or take ownership of the fact that we do have shadows, we do have darkness inside of us that we are projecting to the other person in our relationship. Until we learn to sit down with ourselves and start asking ourselves deeper questions and channel all the energy towards inner healing, towards becoming a better person. We always face challenges in relationships, and that's the area that I really want you to emphasize on. Why is it that we need to wait for things to go worse, for things to become so bad in our relationship, for us to be forced on a path of trying to dig deep inwards instead of trying to control the external circumstances or to control how other people are reacting to us? Why is it that, we are caught up in this snare of, I don't know, lack of awareness, or is it because we were never taught and we need to wait for life to teach us?
We make excuses in life. So when we make excuses by blaming, sometimes we blame our childhood, sometimes we blame the environment, sometimes we blame other people. But guess what? No one is born, even our parents, they were never taught how to behave in their relationship. It is something that has to be a choice. If you want to learn who you want to become, everything you do in life is a choice. For me to be able to learn about a relationship, having an understanding, what is relationship, what does love mean, what does it mean to enter a relationship with somebody and basically save in that relationship, it was a choice that I had to make. It was me admitting the truth about myself, that I don't know what I'm doing. So you have to be able to admit, you have to be able to actually want to seek that help for you to actually but some people, they don't, they believe that they are right in that relationship. They divorce somebody, they enter a relationship and things are not working, they divorce or they separate or they split up, they take that same person to another relationship and same story happens. So but if you actually say, okay, this is my situation, I'm gonna learn what I don't know about love, about relationship, then you'll be able to actually solve the problems. This world will be a better place if we all be able to admit that we don't know what we are doing, which is myself. I did it. I do admit it. I split up with my first relationship. I was in that relationship. I was a woman looking for a man on the dating site, on the everywhere, and I found that woman. I became a fiance and a mother, trying to keep a man and her children. But then I found myself being a single woman with my daughter. Then I asked myself, because I had prayed to God and said, God, I'm looking for a man that is going to accept me for who I am. I'm looking for a man that is going to treat me well. He gave me that man. But I didn't know how to keep that man. So when I started praying and crying, I'm saying, God, you give me this man, a good man, and you have taken that man away. And he went, Nomsa, stop. Look around. And then that's when I realized that actually he gave me the man that I asked for. But I didn't know how to keep that man. All I focused on my fake makeup, fake hair. I spent 2 hours getting dressed, making sure when I step outside, I didn't step in the mud, making sure that everyone, when they look at me, they say, wow, she looks beautiful. But inside there's ugly. It was ugly. There were lies that I was telling myself. Although I was beautiful, I believed that I was beautiful, but it was ugly. I didn't know how to run a relationship. I didn't know how to love myself completely to be able to love the other person. That is the lie that I told myself. But God had given me what I asked for. And when I actually started working on myself, that's when I realized there was no problems in my relationship with my ex. He was a people's pleaser. I was a people's pleaser. We both, if we had arranged to go out, if somebody rings and say, would you guys like to do this? We both drop everything. We didn't know how to say no. We didn't know. We will apologize for saying no. We didn't know. So that destroyed our relationship because we pleased the others. We didn't put our relationship first. And also for me, not knowing. You live in Africa. Our African culture is different than these other cultures. British culture. In our culture, basically we are raised to respect people, but we don't know how to speak up. There is a different, basically our parents are taught us to have respect, but we don't know how to speak up. So I was raised well, but I didn't know how to speak my truth. So which is something that I learned the hard way, that I need to look after myself. This is how my parents taught me to be this. The character that they taught me is a good character, but I wasn't taught to be me, to defend my father taught me, but my mind decided to do something else. When you become an adult, you try to fit in. And when you try to fit in with other people, that's when you actually start putting layers. So I had to undo those layers and starting being me, just being Nomsa, being unapologetic for who I am. So this is what everyone who is watching this talk is like. You have to be you. When you meet somebody on a date, people are not interested with the fancy jobs. Yes, they want to know whether you can provide. As a man, you have to be a provider. You have to, as a woman, you have to be a woman in a relationship is a provider, and also is a design, because a man is an architect, he provides. So a woman designs. So a woman has to design. That means a woman has to be a cheerleader in that man for a relationship to work, to be able to build a good foundation in that relationship. So when you meet somebody, let the person that you are meeting on that first date, let them meet the real you. Not the fake that you think that people want to hear. Let the person meet the real you, your true authenticity.
Yes, sure, that's really deep. The issues that you have raised are so relevant, and I feel like that's where we are getting it lost, especially where you mentioned that we are getting into relationships thinking that we know everything, trying to control the other person to give us what we want. It's like we are coming with a bag of conditions,
Yeah.
are coming with the energy that is self-serving. Give me this, give me this, give me attention, give me what, but we are not willing to give out of the goodness that we're trying to get from the relationships. So I feel like that's where we are getting it wrong, and I feel like it's very, very important for everyone to learn, especially those who haven't they are not yet in committed relationship, to have this fundamental understanding of self. Like what you were saying, you need to know who you are. You need to know that here on earth, or it's my belief, I don't know if it resonates with other people, that we are on a journey of finding ourselves, of evolving, of becoming the best version. And in the process, we get to meet people. Some of them will be like the relationships, the marriage, siblings relationship, friendship, and most of these relationships, to be honest, they are so challenging. And it's important to understand, that's where my lesson is, like what you mentioned, that what is it that I'm here to learn? What is it that I can learn? Not to just have this rigid mindset of saying life is doing this to me, life is giving this to me, and I am a victim. But if you get into a relationship with the attitude of saying, you know what, this is my opportunity for me to learn more about myself, mirror the trigger, look into the triggers that you're having about a relationship, and look within, and start reflecting and working on shadow work. So to bring the issue of having to come to a space and understanding that I am the problem. what is the first thing that you suggest for someone who's having challenges in relationships, who's feeling so empty, who's feeling dissatisfied, and is not happy with what the other partner is doing and is feeling stuck, and all they want to do is to run, is to leave, is in blaming the other partner? What's your advice on someone who's not happy and satisfied in their relationship, whether they are still dating or they are married?
This is a very tricky question. If someone who is not happy in a relationship and you are going through challenges in that relationship, first you need to evaluate your problems, because you might walk away in your relationship and thinking that you have problems. You need to find out what is the cause of the problems. Is it the other person, or are you communicating you? Because if you are bleeding emotionally, so the other person need to know that you're not happy. So are you communicating your unhappiness to the other person? Are they aware about what you're going through? Because I might be doing something, as I said before, no one is perfect. So the other person might be going through, you might be going through something, and the other person thinks everything is okay in relationship, but it's not. So you need to communicate with that person and suggest to get professional help. If you don't know how to approach the situation, get some professional help. When you get a coach, you'll be able, with the coach, you'll be able, through those sessions, you'll be able to identify where the problem is, so you can be able to actually solve the problems. And basically, believe me or not, mobile phones and social media destroys relationships. You need to get rid, the advice that I can give people is, sometimes people believe that they have problems, but they don't. When your spouse comes from work, get rid of your mobile phone. Don't go on your social media. Don't do the work. The work and home, it doesn't mix. Because sometimes you might say you have a problem, but you don't. The couples might be ignoring each other, and you are not communicating with each other as well. Make sure you are aware that you are communicating. Relationship is all about communicating your want, communicating your problems. If you are bleeding emotionally, instead of saying, you do this to me, you do this, just make an actually appointment with your partner, with your spouse, with your wife, with your husband. If you live together, make an appointment. Have time to sit down. Communicate with that person. Let them know what is going through within you, how your feelings. Don't bring what happens in the past. Focus on the now, because your feelings on this now, they matter than what happens in the past. When you focus on the now instead of starting with the past will come naturally. While you are on that conversation, if it's the past that is troubling you, start with the now. This is what I'm going through. I'm bleeding emotionally. I don't know what to do. I'm not happy in our relationship. If your partner mostly is men, that would dismiss and say, I don't know what you're talking about. Just say, please hear me out. This is what I'm feeling. Or if you can't get through to your spouse, advise your spouse to get professional help. Then discuss it. Because when you have basically when you live with someone, if there is something that is not right, the reason why I'm saying this, I'm gonna put this, is when you live with someone, when you connect with someone, it's very very important to enter someone else, to enter the spirit of love. The spirit of love is unconditional love. It means I enter you, your mind. I get to know your mind. I get to know what makes you cry, what makes you happy, what makes you believe in the things that you believe in. I get to know your past. I sympathize with your mind and I relate to you. And I welcome you into my mind, my world. We get to know, we get connected. So that means that if you are unhappy, I can feel it because I'm connected to you. Emotionally, intimacy, and our environment. But if somebody is not able to identify that you, Helen, you are not happy, if your spouse is not able to identify with your feelings, that means you are actually not connected emotionally and intimacy, because you need to be connected. It's like with your children. What do you do when your child what do you do with your child if it's not well? You know. You can look at your child, even your feelings, you can tell that something is not right. And you're never wrong. That's why when you ring the doctors, if it's a mother, doctors give you attention because they know. A mother always know their child. If you say my child is not happy, you are not happy, your child is not good. So they know, they do the investigation. So that's why it's very, very important to select somebody that you really, really, really want to spend the rest of your life with. Not somebody because they are wealthy, not somebody because they are good looking. Good looks, they don't work in relationships. Wealth, it doesn't work in relationships. It works, but it doesn't work. You have to be able to connect with that person. It doesn't matter with whether they are billionaire, whether they are what. If you are not connected to that person, your relationship is not going to work. Emotionally, you need to be able to be connected to somebody. Don't know if I've answered all your questions.
Yes, perfectly. Well said. Thank you, everyone who's here with us, who is tuned in and is following the conversation. If you have any question, feel free to write on the comment section, and we have Nomsa to address them for us. And that's really empowering message, Nomsa, that you have shared with us today. And I feel like most people, we do not have the knowledge, the skill to choose the right person. And at the end of the day, when maybe down 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, things get sour. And I love where you are encouraging people to talk things out, to connect, find a way to connect, to open up about how you feel, to have a listening ear to what your partner is saying, and to hear them out in order for you to navigate through whatever is coming up. But I also feel like there may be challenges with maybe connection, being able to have someone listen to you when you are opening up about what's bothering you, about what you are not happy in your relationship, what you are not happy with, maybe with the way they are showing up in the relationship. Maybe they have cheated, or maybe they are continuing to cheat, or maybe they are someone is becoming a, or is having drinking problems, or every all the challenges that may pop up or may just come through in a relationship. Would you advise maybe someone to get to a place where they quit and let go? when they get so much frustrated in a relationship that they realize this is becoming toxic, this is no longer serving my highest good? Would you advise people to walk away? And what advice would you give if you don't advise them to walk away?
Okay, walking away in a relationship is a choice. Every relationship is different. So if someone is drinking, and I'm gonna be honest with you, for that person to stop drinking is a choice. You can't change them. You cannot actually pick somebody up and say go and seek help. It has to be their choice that they want to go and seek help. But if their drinking is affecting your health, is affecting your relationship, is affecting whether you have kids, or is affecting your family, because if you are going to your family confiding in them every day about your spouse's drinking, that means that drinking is not just affecting you, it's affecting the family members, it's affecting you as a person as well, it's affecting the person that is drinking. So it has to be a choice that you need to walk away if they are not actually getting any help, because for them to stop what they are doing, it's gonna have to be their choice. You can't not nag somebody. I used to believe that nagging, if I come to you and say stop this, stop that, you're gonna do it. No, you won't. It is a choice. So you have to walk away and let that person sort themselves out. So sometimes if you tell somebody that I am walking away, if they love you that much, I'm not saying use that to blackmail your spouse by saying I'm walk away today, which is what I used to do when I wasn't happy, realizing that my spouse is not changing. I'll be saying I'm walking away, and I'm being a drama queen. I will not be stuck talking to them for maybe the whole day, basically doing the things that I shouldn't have doing, which is a bad habit. When you are walking away, it has to be walk away. Like I'm walking away now, saying I'm done, I'm walking. If you walk and they say, they come back to you, they say, okay, you've walked away, I'm getting help, this is my coach that is helping me with my therapist that is helping me, just say, okay, you want me back, I need to go and meet your therapist. You go to the therapist. If he's going to a therapist, or if she's going to a therapist, you go to a therapist. Therapist will be able to ask questions, both of you, and will be able to tell you this is the plan, this is the assessment, this is the plan, how I'm going to help this person to get to where they need to go. But it doesn't mean you come back straight away. Once the therapy is going to work on that person, you have to be there as a friend now, not coming back that same time. And then after they finished, the family can be united, because that person is finished their therapy and they have made a choice. They might go to therapy, and when they finish, they're like, by the way, you were the reason that I was drinking, you annoying me anyway. So problems might appear, might start to reappear when the other person is doing therapy. It might be that person is drinking, or they're doing what they're doing because of not knowing who they are, or maybe because of their childhood. So it might have nothing to do with you. So that will be fine. Then the family can be united. But sometimes people get together, they are not a good match, and sometimes it's like somebody doesn't not want to go home, so they go home and they take alcohol because the woman is annoying, or because the man is annoying. People taking substance to make themselves feel better. So it might be that the reason why the other person is doing what they are doing, because they are not good match, or they are good match, but the other person has already got their own issues. So let the other person deal with their issues. What people make mistake is when we try to change people. We try to blame ourselves that he is drinking because of this, because of what I have done. Let somebody clean their mess by themselves. It has nothing to do with you. If you are not drinking, they are drinking, it doesn't mean it is your fault. Let them clean their mess. If you are meant to be together, you will get back together. If you don't, in that process, that means you were never meant to be together. So let God be God, or let the universe be universe in that relationship.
Beautiful. Thanks for highlighting that. Because one thing that I feel like most people get stuck on is like when things go wrong, when they face challenges, um, you tend to lose control. Like the issue of the lady from my hometown in Chivu who killed their 4 kids. She actually beheaded them after the incident where the husband cheated on her. It shows the high level of trauma or pain that the woman endured and didn't know how to process the pain. And I love the fact that you are encouraging people to seek therapy, to seek help, to go to coaches, talk to someone who can guide you and help you navigate through the challenges, because honestly we need not put positive mask on life, like what we were conditioned by society, and pretend as if everything is okay. Like, I'm okay, I have it all figured out, I'm strong, I can do this. There should come a time that we need to surrender and say, you know what, I'm feel stuck, and right now what I'm going through is traumatic, and his drinking problem, his cheating problem, or his character, his behavior, or however way she's showing up or is showing up is not serving my highest good. You need to sort out your mental health. You need to seek help. You need to seek therapy. And I love that you are emphasizing on that. And I don't know how open we are as people to talk about marital problems, because it seems like it's really something that is sacred, and many people, they are not really open to go to everyone, maybe because of how society is not really conditioned to hold space for you when you are facing challenges. Maybe probably you hear your stories all over everywhere, media, people talking about you. You tell your sister will tell your uncle, and people do not want that. However, where I want you to clarify, norms, is when people are going through stuff, and you are also mentioning that if it gets worse to the extent that it's too much, you advising people to walk away in from toxicity and the mess that's no longer serving them for the highest good. I also want to really understand. I once listened to this audio by Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you know her. And she was like, if you are to walk away from a situation that's becoming toxic, or from a relationship, whether a working environment or a love relationship, or any situations that is causing painful and negative emotions, you need to deactivate the vibration or of negativity, that is to discontinue the dialogue of the negative stories, the sadness, the pain, and reactivate the vibration that you would want to experience, to create in your life, so that even if you walk away, you don't carry the same energy in the next relationship, to avoid repeating the same patterns and the negative cycles. I don't know what you can say about that. You unmute.
Rewrite your own story. If things have not gone the way you want in when it comes to relationship, when it comes to any situation, you rewrite your own story. Don't replay over and over and over that negative story in your mind. It's not good for you. You have to sit down, take a pen and paper, write down your emotions on paper, write everything down so that you are aware of what is going on. Write everything down and accept the situation. This is what has gone wrong. Accept it. By accepting it, it means you're not blaming yourself, you are not blaming your spouse, because by entering that relationship, you don't know the outcome. When you enter a relationship, you don't know the outcome for tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow brings. So if a relationship has gone wrong, go home. Home is the place where you feel comfortable in your heart. Going home is the place where you feel accepted, which is by you. Going home is going into your own world, remembering your strength and facing your negativity, facing your problems. We going through your problems, not going around them. And be aware of your weaknesses as well. Is very, very important. Don't focus on your strength. There's some people, they intend to focus to say, I was this, I was good in relationships, he did this, she did this. Focus on your strength, on your weaknesses as well, and also your strength. And be aware of what has been going on. When you are aware of what has been going on in that relationship without blaming, that means you are going to rewrite your story based on your journey where you want to be. And when you are rewriting that story, if you want to enter another relationship, obviously you're gonna take a break. You're not gonna leave that relationship and then carrying the story. So rewrite your own story and take a break. You have some me time. Be surrounded people that wants to help you to be where you want to be. Not are going to keep blaming your ex, or are gonna keep blaming the person that you are in a relationship with. It doesn't help. When you speak to people that like feeling sorry club, I call them feeling sorry club. People that feel sorry for you and say he shouldn't have done this, she shouldn't have done this. That is somebody making you feel better, which is not helping. If you are with somebody that is gonna tell you the truth and say, how can I save you right now? You're in pain. So what part do you want me to play? Everyone in life has a part that they need to play. So I don't want a friend like myself. I don't want a friend that enters my life want to feel sorry for me. A true friend enters your life. They help you to grow. When you mess up, they tell you the truth. They don't help you to feel sorry. They tell you the truth, but in a good way. And they help you to grow. When you're crying, when you are in pain, they let you be. You have to go to them and be the one that says, I need you. But they don't just push. So you have to be aware of your environment. You have to be aware of writing your own story. Be the changer in your own world. Change your story and change your life.
Yes, so profound, Nomsa. I love where you are saying surround yourself with people who uplift you, people who help you grow, and I feel like that's really powerful because it is my belief that there's nothing that we are doing here on earth except growing. And when I mean growing, I mean spiritually, emotionally. So if you are not evolving through a situation, then it's not serving your highest good. Then you need to look out for a new circle for people who help you identify the parts of you that you're struggling to break through, struggling to gain awareness, so that you start moving in a path of transforming your life, transforming your mindset for the sake of the evolving of your soul. That's really, really beautiful. I really appreciate, Nomsa, the wisdom that you are sharing with us today, or that you have shared so far. That's really, 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 really profound and so enlightening. And I hope everyone who is here is getting it to be so insightful and helpful, and they will be able to apply the wisdom and the knowledge in their own lives. Yes, relationships can be complicated because we have no control over another person. You only have control over yourself, your life, your mood, your attitude. But it seems like we go through life projecting onto each other our own wounds, and we are really not aware of that. And I also feel the key to having harmonious relationship is self-love. And I don't know if you can add anything on that topic. I can't talk about relationships without allowing you to just lay out on what self-love is all about in relationships.
Basically, self love is very, very important. It means you put you first. So I can't give you something that I've never experienced. In order for me to love somebody else, I have to experience that love first. I have to be able to tell me that, Nomsa, I love you. I have to be able to do things that makes me happy if I put me first and I love myself, and no excuses. If I'm aware of who is Nomsa and what does Nomsa's world look like without anybody else, then I'll be able to allow somebody else to enter my world and enjoy my world. But if I don't know what my world looks like, and how to love myself in that world, and how to actually accept me for me as a person, so that means that I wouldn't be able to actually love you unconditional. So unconditional love, it means you come to me, Helen, you say, Nomsa, let's go to the cinema. If I don't feel like going to the cinema, if you are my friend, I have to say, no, I don't want to go to the cinema today because I'm having some me time, without me having to explain to you why I'm not going. So that to me is self-love, being able to do the things that you love, being able to actually be you, and being grateful for everything that God gave you. I don't know whatever your beliefs are. For me, self-love, it means I know my world. This is my world. This is Nomsa's world. And in that world, I have to be able, not being focused on me, I have to be able to allow somebody to enter that world, enjoy it with me. So that means I know my want, I know my desires, I know where I see myself in 5 years. I know what I want. I have a movie that I'm playing over and over and over. That is Nomsa. That is Nomsa. That is Nomsa's want. It's Nomsa's movie. That is self-love for me. I'm able to know my choices. I'm able to embrace who I am. Unapologetic. I'm able to accept I'm a black woman. I'm able to embrace being a black person, being black African woman. I'm able to actually look at myself in front of the mirror and tell Nomsa, I love you. I accept you. Thank you for standing by me. Thank you for being there when everyone else was judging me, when everyone else wasn't accepting me. Thank you for standing by me. So that to me is self-love. So if you do love yourself, you are able to let somebody in enjoy that love with you. But if you don't know how to love yourself, there is no way that you will enter a relationship with somebody else. Oh, sorry. There is no way that you enter a relationship and be able to love somebody else. That is not gonna happen. You enter a relationship and just have a relationship that is not gonna work, and then you break up, and then you blaming somebody else, and then you get somebody else, same story happen, and then you go to somebody else.
Yes, that's where we were talking about repeating patterns.
Yeah.
And now that you're speaking about it with relation to self-love, it's so fascinating because I feel like we are living in a world where we are trying to run away from who we are. And I always love to encourage, especially women, to accept who you are. Love yourself for who you are. And from that space, you will be able to get into relationships. You will be able to engage in whatever relationship that you have. Is it with siblings, workmates, or your partner? When you get into relationships, knowing who you are, you know what you expect, you know how to set boundaries, and you give more of love because that's what you have. You cannot give from an empty cup. Yet I think so much distress and pain is coming from a space where we especially as women, because I think we play a keen a very important factor in relationships, because seems like a woman is the heart of the home. You raise kids and what we project a lot of our wounds and expect the whole world to give us like what we want, instead of us taking a break and start giving ourselves so much love, to just self-care, validating yourself, filling your cup first until it running over, so that you'll be able to serve other people from your highest self. I love self love. I think we should have a topic where we just talk about self love and how it impacts relationships. Because I actually feel like most people who come to me, we have relationship problems. The first thing that we start addressing, and that I immediately identify, is lack of self love. Not because people don't know what self love is, but they do not have the awareness of how to begin to fully love yourself. And it's a journey, it's a practice, and I feel like it's a lifetime practice that both men and women we need to practice. So I don't know if maybe you have anything else that you would want to add to what we have discussed today.
You were talking about boundaries, self love, and also principles. When you actually create that world, you have to have principles. Some people people make mistakes by creating rules. Rules, it means you control everything in your life. You want to be in control with everything. But if you set up principles, like in the Bible, there are 10 commandments. God created his own 10 commandments. So he has his own character. So he created that if you want to enter my kingdom, you have to follow my commandment. So you can create your own principles, that if anyone that wants to enter my world, this is what I can tolerate, this is what I can't tolerate. With the principles, you're not controlling everyone, you're not controlling people. People just enter and they enjoy your life. They understand what the things that you can tolerate. Like myself, I love my life. I love myself. I love people around me. So for you to be able to fit in with me, you have to have these principles of unconditional love. It means I love you with your mistakes. No matter how many mistakes you make in front of me, you don't have to please me. I have to accept you for who you are. As long you are not hurting me, you are just making mistakes, your own mistakes. It means that I love you and I accept you. So those are my principles that you want to enter my life. You have to understand the meaning of unconditional love. You have to understand my beliefs. You have to understand my values. I have to understand your beliefs. I have to understand your values for me to be able to connect with you as a friend or as a spouse or as a family member. So that means I don't take you for granted. I love you. When you enter my life, I have to work hard to make sure that you are happy. I'm happy in that relationship. I'm serving you to make sure that I check on you. Are you okay as a person? You can just pick up a phone and just check on you. Check on somebody if you are in a relationship with them, or somebody comes from work, like your spouse, they come from work. My principles is unconditional love. I don't care the things that you've done wrong. All I want that moment is to give you a hug and give you a kiss and tell you that I love you, and give you some food. And when you've eaten, if you have upset me, you've eaten, you're healthy, then you can explain yourself. So that is Nomsa's unconditional love. Not to walk at the door, I'm like, what did you do this for? No, that's not unconditional love.
Beautiful, well articulated. I really appreciate your insights and your wisdom. It shows that relationship area is your field. I don't know. What do you think is our purpose here on earth as human beings?
Purpose on earth basically is something that you have to figure out. You are here to serve. No one is here to complain. No one is on earth basically to complain. No one is on earth to be given problems. Yes, problems are there. Problems will appear. Challenges will appear. But we are here on earth not to make excuses. We are here on earth to figure out who we can serve. We all have talent. We are all talented. Everybody is talented. You have to figure out your talent. You have to figure out what is written in your book of life, because what is written in your book of life is not what is written in Nomsa's book of life, which is something that I've learned the hard way to understand my purpose on earth. I've learned that the really hard way, because I used to believe that when somebody suggested that I do this, I have to go and do it without praying about it, without sitting down and meditate about it. I just make a decision and I go for it. But now you bring an idea into my head, I have to go and pray about it. I have to go and meditate about it. If that idea connects with me, but when it comes to a decision with business, when it comes to a decision, even if I don't have money, this might sound really silly, I say yes. If it's a business, that makes sense. If it's an opportunity, that makes sense. If I have been praying for something and somebody comes in with a proposal, I say yes. I don't think about money. Money can come back later. That's when I start saying, oh, I said yes. How am I going to pay this? So I don't think about how. I think about yes, let's go for it. But if it's a family member or somebody else that comes in, or a coach that I have never worked with, and they come in and say, I can help you with this. If I'm already have a coach, I've already have a coach. And if somebody else comes in and they propose something, what I came to understand as I'm meditating and praying, I've learned that not everybody has to take to your life to the next level. It doesn't work like that. There are people that have been chosen by God. Every person to actually, they are individuals that can take your life to the next level. So if I'm praying to God, obviously somebody else is going to cause confusion to me. So I need to make sure the person that enters my life, are they able to take me to the next level? Even with the spouse, with the relationships, I put people in interview without them knowing. You have to know how to interview somebody without them realizing that you are interviewing them. You can take them for coffee and have a laugh. In that laugh, try to find playful questions that you can figure out this person, where they are and where they want to go. So use psychology. Everything you do in life is psychology. You have to understand the power of psychology. Not everybody that enters your life, they are your lover. We human beings make mistakes. You see a charming woman entering your life, beautiful boobs, beautiful smile, beautiful body. You think, oh my God, she's sweeping me away. This is my lover. But no, you have to figure out their character without having been swept away. Figure out their character. Take them out for a meal. Listen to what comes out their mouth. You see a guy with muscles, they go to the gym, handsome, tall, blue eyes, they take you out and you get attracted by their looks. What if their looks is not what you're looking for? You're looking for something more. So don't neglect yourself. My man, he's a good looking man. He's got a nice body, but his body didn't work for me. His looks didn't work for me. He had to go through questions without him knowing what I was doing. So I wasn't looking for his looks. It's fine. You have your looks is fine, but that doesn't mean you can enter my life. We have to figure out whether you are what I'm looking for. You are the one that I asked God to bring into my life. So when he actually passed the test that I was, with the things that I was looking for, I meet his family, and his family, we share same values. We share same beliefs. Then I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for this man that comes into my life. So you have to be able to actually, the relationship, there is more. Even if somebody, they are very successful in business, when it comes to relationship, building a relationship, there is more that you need to ask. So with my coach, for me, when he's a man, Desmond O'Connor is a man, I had to go through the questions. So when he goes through the questions, what I'm figuring out is, do we have intimacy relationship here that we can actually, when you say intimacy relationship, it's like a brother and a sister. Can this person actually, can I work with this person when I have problems? If I pick up the phone and say, this is the problem that I'm facing, will they be able to say, Nomsa, I hear you. Nomsa, what can I do right now? How can I help you moving forward? Will they be able to listen to me? That is a kind of a relationship when you are choosing to work with somebody. It's a relationship, that intimacy relationship with that person, and understanding. Do they understand you? Do they understand what you want? Or there might be somebody who has got experience, who are professional, who don't care about people, who just care about making money, and just those are the kind of people that in my principles don't fit in. So you have to be able to be with somebody that understand my values, and you have to be somebody that I can actually communicate with. So that's why I picked him as my coach, because I knew that he can take me to the next level. And I prayed to God, and God confirmed, and he was like, he's fine. He will take you to the next level. So everything that I do at Ngosi Talk Show, everything that I do with the Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, he is the masterpiece of everything. So that's how I do things. And he understands that I'm not perfect. I can cry sometimes. I'm allowed to cry. I'm allowed to make mistakes. So he understands that. So that's why he's working with me. And my spouse has to be the same. Not to expect me to be perfect, because I'm not.
Very true. Yo, that's really deep. I love that. You need to share the same values. You need to be going towards the same goals in the same direction, because there's nothing so disempowering than to be with someone who doesn't understand your purpose, who doesn't understand who you are and what you're trying to get out of life. I really appreciate, and I'm so thankful, Nomsa, for your time and for your wisdom. And I want to thank our guests for following through our talk, and I hope you have learned. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox me. We will have another live session. We have many sessions where we discuss issues about relationships. Thank you, Nomsa, for your time. I really appreciate. Have a blessed day further.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Helen. And thank you so much for everyone who's watching. Live with grace, everyone.